Representative Wheeler, Jonah Wheeler. I am on the right bill. Yes, I am. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Chairman Walsh and friends and colleagues on the House Transportation Committee. I don't know if I've ever had the pleasure before you, and I get to watch you all the time. You get very interesting discussion, but it's a pleasure to actually be here in front of this great committee. So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm here today. My name, for the record, is Representative Jonah Orion Wheeler, and I represent the towns of Peterborough and Sharon. And I'm here today as a co-sponsor of this piece of legislation in support of it. So as Representative Mannion mentioned, there is a significant amount of paranoia around the digitalization of identification in our world. But the one bit of pushback that I would have to Representative Mannion's testimony is it's a little bit more than just paranoia. So in the United Kingdom, Prime Minister Keir Starmer has moved forward and is continuing to move forward on a full digital identification program by which people won't be able to buy or sell, in his ideal version of this program, without use of the digital ID. So regardless of what other forms of identification an individual may have and may already have, they would like to, in the United Kingdom, move forward to a place where you're not able to participate in public life in any form whatsoever without the digital ID program. And this is occurring throughout our world. There are people like former Prime Minister Tony Blair who are working quite closely with people like the Prime Minister of Albania right now, Edi Rama, to move forward the complete digitalization of government through different artificial intelligence programs and the rest. I'm sure all of us saw the very viral clip this summer where Edi Rama presented the AI minister before the entire parliament, at which point the parliament resulted in throwing papers and trying to stop this minister from speaking using the time given to the elected representatives of that parliament. So, Mr. Chairman, without getting too far into the weeds on this, I co-sponsored this piece of legislation because the digitalization of government, the digitalization of identification in our world is a 1984 Brave New World style of world that the majority of our citizens, including myself, refuse to believe in. And I am not going to, I will die on the hill of the digitalization of our world. I truly will. I am not a Luddite, but I'm also maybe not as supportive of technology as Mr. Mannion is. I am maybe somewhere in the middle. I believe that technology has its uses, but to digitalize everything risks the loss of our basic fundamental liberty as human beings. And I think we've already seen much of that occur with how digital our lives already are. None of our conversations are private. None of our interactions with other human beings are private. They are all data that has been given to the major tech companies. And so to give these people the ability to run our entire world via digital identification, I think would also be wrong. So I think this is a very simple clarification, which just says in the state of New Hampshire that we will not have these electronic identification cards. You can have them, but they will not be the be-all, end-all of what we do here in the state of New Hampshire, which is in-person, transparent, open, and honest in-person government. So thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I'm happy to take any questions, but if I don't get any questions on my first day at transportation, I get an A+.
Oh, you're getting questions.
Uh-oh.
Representative
I never got an A+, so.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Representative Wheeler, for taking my question. It's a sort of a two-parter, but we'll start with part one. Are you familiar with a company called Palantir?
I am brutally familiar with a company called Palantir.
Follow up. And would it be possible for you to give us a 30-second explanation of what that is
I
for the committee's edification?
I would be happy to, Mr. Sykes. So the company Palantir is, I don't want to get it wrong, but they do technology of all different sorts. So they run technological programs, including the programs that they have with their contracts with the CIA, NSA, and other three-letter agencies in our country. Using those contracts over the course of the last 20 years, they have built a digital database of each and every single one of us, our emotional, social, behavioral, any kind of data that you can think of yourself and more. They've got it in their database, and it's a very concerning thing. I mean, it's something that could be flipped on a switch in a very dangerous way to create a world of the likes of which the authoritarians of the 20th century would weep tears of envy at the power by which the authoritarians of the 21st century have. So, to make it as quick as I can, it's a company which is trying to subvert the liberty of all citizens of this country through technological means for money.
Did you ever think we were going to be fixing the world's problem with
Right?
this bill?
In transportation, you know.
Well, I actually I expect that all the
Oh,
time. Representative St. Clair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning, and thank you. I'm way back in time with this stuff, so it's probably a easy question to answer, probably known to most. But if this digital stuff, can it not be hacked and changed by outside forces?
Oh, that's, I think, one of the most. So you say we're doing the best thing that we can as government. You know, we're all acting in the best interests. That's maybe true. Maybe these identifications are making it easier for government along some lines. You know, I don't want to ascribe malice to Prime Minister Starmer, although maybe in private I would. But the fact of the matter is, even if all the best actors and the best intentions go into digitalization of government and these kinds of programs, you're 100% right. The bad actors which do exist and are out there, we don't get to hear how much of our data has been stolen through different hacks and things like that, but it happens all the time, and there is no amount of digital security which will stop those hacks. And so putting all that data onto the cloud is opening up the entire data for all 330 million people, roughly, of the citizens of this country who have that data online. So you're absolutely right. Hacking is a concern.
Thank you.
Further questions? Representative Vale.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Representative, for taking my question. So in terms of Palantir or Project Insight or Hydra, you know, do you think that this is like trying to close the barn door after the horses are already out? Have we already gone too far digitally to really worry about this? Or do we have bigger problems to worry about than digital IDs?
That's a fantastic question, Representative Vayu. You know, and I don't know if I have the answer to it. What I would say is, with AI, with technology, with all these things, there's no doubt that the horse has far and away left the barn and the door is wide open. But I think there are other animals in the barn still that closing the door would be worthwhile to keep them in. And it's always possible to wrangle a horse. There's cowboys for a reason. There's lassos for a reason. And I'd say that we are privileged to be able to have those lassos and things like that.
Representative Coker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Figured I'd jump in on
That's,
this. So, in your experience, I'm not a historian, and I don't think you are, but can you think of any society that is clung to the old ways and stayed successful?
No, but I would say that that putting in guardrails and protections and regulation on technology is not keeping us from that progression. I believe in the progression of technology, but it's doing so in a way where the public sector ensures that all of the citizens under its protection, which the public's trust has been given to it, are protected. And so I guess I would say, you know, when the planes were created, we didn't stop the planes, but we regulated them. And I think that's a similar thing to what we have to do with AI and these kinds of programs.
Thank you.
Seeing nobody else, I'll ask you a couple of questions. Would you believe I was kind of shocked to see this included in HB2 to begin with, but it wasn't enough to stop it. What would the prime sponsor and the co-sponsors feel if this were to turn into a repeal of the language that's in HB2 regarding electronic identifications? Okay.
I'm getting a nod and a thumbs up from the prime sponsor, and so I'd say as a co-sponsor, I would be happy with that
taken.
as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I would hope that we can get policy out of HB2 eventually. You know, it's terrible, but
Thanks again.
thank you.
Okay, seeing nobody else signed up to speak on House Bill 1698, I'm going to close the public hearing.
Thank you all.
And a couple minutes to reset. We'll go into 1758.